technology can reproduce a human face this convincingly, could someone ever impersonate another person in real life? In the world of espionage, the promise of a perfect disguise has always been more fantasy than fact. Intelligence agencies have spent decades refining the art of facial transformation, but even the most advanced masks are tactical tools, never magic cloaks. As former CIA disguise chief Jonah Mendez recounts, field agents needed to disappear in plain sight, sometimes with only seconds to spare. The agency's so-called 45-second mask became a benchmark, a silicone shell that could be applied without a mirror, transforming a young operative into someone decades older or of a different ethnicity. During Operation Babushka in 1965, a CIA agent infiltrated a Moscow textile plant for 18 months, posing as an elderly Russian woman. The mask, custom tinted and hair punched with authentic gray strands, fooled casual observers and even close colleagues. Yet even this success had limits. The mask had to be removed quickly if a situation escalated. Prolonged wear led to discomfort, and the agent risked exposure if sweat or heat caused the adhesive to slip. Disguise specialists describe a strict checklist for every field mask. First, application time. The mask must go on in under a minute, ideally 45 seconds. Second, breathability. Early models trapped heat, raising the temperature inside by 5 degrees Celsius within half an hour. Third, speech. Masks muffled sound, making clear conversation risky. Fourth, expressiveness. While some designs allowed for subtle eyebrow movement, smiling or shouting could break the illusion. Finally, maintenance. Daily cleaning with silicone-safe solvents was essential to prevent odor and skin irritation. These constraints meant that masks were reserved for brief, high-risk encounters, never for long-term identity swaps. Intelligence officers knew that a mask could buy them a few precious moments, but never a new life. The reality was always more fragile than the myth. Inside a Hollywood effects studio, the process of creating a hyper-realistic silicone mask unfolds with a precision that rivals scientific laboratories. It begins with a structured light scan using an R-Tech EVA or a similar device, sweeping across an actor's face and capturing every pore and wrinkle with an accuracy of 0.02 millimeters. In less than 2 minutes, millions of data points form a digital replica, accurate down to the subtle curve of an earlobe and the fine lines around the eyes. A prosthetics artist sits at a sculpting tablet, refining that model in specialized software. Here, even the smallest skin textures, crow's feet, forehead creases, the faintest dimple, are preserved on a voxel grid measured in millimeters. Over 3 to 5 days, the artist builds a master file, layering in anatomical quirks that make each face unique. This digital sculpture is then printed in high-resolution resin using a 3-dimensional printer, producing a solid positive. The next step is all about capturing nuance. A thin silicone wash is brushed over the print to pick up the finest textures. Then the positive is encased in a flexible silicone mother mold. After curing, the negative mold is ready for casting. The mask itself is poured from platinum-cured silicone, chosen for its skin-like feel and tear strength. Pigments are mixed in to match undertones, while airbrushes add translucent washes, blush, and tiny veins. The painting process can take days, building up color in layers so that the mask responds to light much like real skin. This layered approach creates depth and realism. Hair punching is the final, painstaking step. Using a rotary punch that is less than half a millimeter wide, the artist implants 5,000 to 7,000 individual hairs by hand, eyebrows, eyelashes, even ear hair. To avoid an unnatural look, some hairs are glued, others are punched in at random angles, mimicking the irregularity of real growth. The result is a mask that, under controlled studio lighting and camera angles, can fool even high-definition lenses. But the illusion has boundaries. While these masks can pass on film sets and in quick encounters, their realism depends on precise lighting and the fixed gaze of a camera. In person, under shifting daylight or close scrutiny, the line between mask and skin can reappear, a reminder that even the best artistry cannot erase every trace of the craft. A single screenshot can ignite a storm of speculation. On Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram, users circulate slowed-down clips and side-by-side photos, insisting that subtle changes in a public figure's face, flattened cheekbones, static smiles, or a hairline that looks just a bit too perfect must be evidence of a silicone mask. 5 names repeat across these threads: Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Jim Carrey, and Eminem. For each, there is a catalog of supposed giveaways. One user points to a moment in a 2022 Biden speech highlighting a smooth, almost plastic cheek line and a hairline that never seems to shift. Another circles an image of Donald Trump, claiming a glassy sheen and cheeks that do not crease when he smiles. Jim Carrey's forehead is scrutinized for uniform texture, while Eminem's hairline and jaw are compared over years, with arrows marking every perceived inconsistency. Hillary Clinton's jawline and missing nasolabial folds become the centerpiece of a Facebook post, racking up thousands of shares. These claims are always presented as if the evidence is self-explanatory: a freeze frame, a digital zoom, a red circle around a feature that just does not look right. But forensic analysts and prosthetic artists caution that these so-called cues are unreliable. Lighting, camera angles, makeup, and even digital compression can flatten cheekbones or blur fine wrinkles. A prosthetics specialist explains that while a well-made mask can mimic skin texture under studio lights, it is nearly impossible to hide the absence of micromovements, the tiny shifts in muscle and skin that happen when someone speaks or emotes. Psychologists add that the human brain is wired to spot the slightest irregularity in a face, sometimes seeing patterns that are not there at all. In the end, every alleged proof is filtered through layers of expectation, suspicion, and the strange allure of the uncanny. The claims remain speculative, their certainty dissolving under closer scrutiny. In courtrooms from London to Sao Paulo, the reality of mask-based deception has been tested under the harshest scrutiny. In 2014, a jewelry thief in London slipped past staff and security cameras wearing a custom silicone mask detailed with hand-punched hair and painted veins. The illusion held until investigators reviewed enhanced CCTV footage. Under the glare of a streetlight, the mask's edge caught the lens at just the right angle, revealing a subtle seam distortion, an almost imperceptible line where silicone met skin. Forensic analysts zoomed in, comparing the pattern to a catalog of commercial mask molds. The match was enough for a conviction. A different approach surfaced in Sao Paulo in 2021. An organized crime ring used high-grade silicone polyurethane masks to impersonate police officers and infiltrate a precinct. Routine checks failed to spot the ruse, but a thermal imaging sweep told a different story. Infrared cameras picked up a temperature drop of nearly 5 degrees Celsius along the masked faces. The silicone simply could not conduct heat like living skin. Investigators confirmed their findings with FTIR spectroscopy, identifying the distinct siloxane signature of the polymer. In both cases, the masks bought only brief anonymity. Forensic tools such as microscopic seam analysis, heat mapping, and material sampling exposed the deception within days. Expert testimony in these trials highlights a clear pattern. While hyper-realistic masks can fool the eye and even standard surveillance, they struggle to defeat forensic scrutiny. The technology can create a near-perfect illusion, but the smallest physical clues A seam, a sheen, a thermal shadow remain stubbornly difficult to erase. Criminals betting on invisibility find, sooner or later, that the mask always leaves a trace. Laboratory studies reveal just how easily the mind can be fooled by a hyper-realistic mask and where its limits lie. In controlled experiments, participants were shown a mix of genuine faces and actors wearing silicone masks. When asked to judge which were real, people misidentified a masked face as genuine 34% of the time. The average decision took 730 milliseconds, noticeably slower than the 410 milliseconds for authentic faces. Psychologists explain that this hesitation reflects a moment of cognitive uncertainty, the brain pausing when something looks almost but not quite human. Technical analysis digs deeper. High-speed cameras tracking blinks show that human eyelids close and open in a fluid arc, with blinks averaging 0.31 seconds. Silicone masks, even those rigged for movement, produce shorter, more mechanical blinks closer to 0.18 seconds. Eye-tracking heat maps reveal scattered fixations on masked faces as viewers unconsciously search for cues that signal authenticity. These subtle biometric mismatches form a checklist for experts, but in casual encounters, they are often missed. The result is a measurable, repeatable gap between what the eye sees and what the mind believes. Algorithms excel at feeding us what we already believe. On social media, a single freeze frame or slowed down clip can be recommended again and again, reinforcing the idea that a strange smile or a static hairline is proof of a mask. Studies show that people exposed to claims matching their suspicions are twice as likely to accept them as true, a phenomenon known as confirmation bias. Reddit threads and YouTube videos about replacement theories often rack up tens of thousands of shares and comments, not because the evidence is solid, but because the platform's recommendation engines amplify content that sparks engagement. In one analysis, a video alleging a celebrity double appeared in over 4% of algorithmic suggestions for users interested in deepfake content, doubling its reach almost overnight. If a claim relies on a single odd frame or a viral post with no expert input, skepticism is warranted. The best defense is to slow down, question the source, and look for corroboration before accepting that a mask is behind every anomaly. One psychologist put it this way: if it feels too strange to be true, it probably is. Right now, ultra-realistic masks blur the line between what is possible and what is imagined. As digital culture feeds suspicion, our sense of reality faces new tests. When a face can be remade in silicone, where does truth end and myth begin?